So, Amazon, the very same company behind one of the most spectacular hardware failures in recent memory, is reportedly making another phone. But listen, this isn't just round two. It's a completely different vision for what a phone is even supposed to be.
Yep, it's been over a decade since the infamous Fire phone went down in flames. And now, reliable reports are saying Amazon is getting back in the game. The big question, of course, is why now? And what on earth could be different this time around?
All right, let's get right to it. Here's the bottom line on this new effort, which is codenamed Transformer. First, it's an AI-driven smartphone built around the new, much smarter Alexa Plus assistant. Now, here's the kicker. Its main goal is to completely bypass the Apple and Google app stores. Instead, it would plug you directly into Amazon's huge ecosystem. Shopping, video, music, all of it. But, and this is a big but, it's still in the super early stages, so there's absolutely no guarantee this thing will ever actually launch.
Now, to really understand why Amazon would even attempt this, you have to look past the idea of just building another phone. This is about chasing a long-held, almost science fiction dream for how we interact with our technology.
This quote really gets to the heart of it. Reports say this project goes all the way back to Jeff Bezos' original vision to create a single, all-knowing voice assistant. You know, exactly like the computer from Star Trek. An ambient intelligence that's always with you, not just a speaker sitting on your kitchen counter.
So what does that actually look like for you? Well, it means you could just say, order my usual from Grubhub, or play the new episode of that show I like on Prime Video. No more hunting for an app, no logging in, no tapping through menus. The AI would just handle it. It's all about saving you time and getting rid of the friction in your day.
And that right there leads us to the most radical part of this whole idea. A future that might move away from that grid of app icons that has defined how we use our phones for almost 20 years.
The whole process is designed to be, well, seamless. You just speak a command, like, get me a car to the airport. The Alexa AI wouldn't just open your Uber or Lyft app. No, it would understand what you want, connect directly to the service in the background, and book the whole thing for you. It's a fundamental shift, away from a visual tap and swipe interface to a purely conversational one.
Now, as for the hardware, what would this thing actually look like? Well, Amazon is reportedly exploring two very different paths. One option is a full-on smartphone meant to compete head-to-head with the iPhone and Samsung, but trying to win with its AI and deep service integration. The other idea is a much more minimalist dumb phone, almost like a secondary device to help you reduce screen time, but still giving you access to that powerful AI.
And make no mistake, this is not some casual side project. This whole effort is being run by a brand new, dedicated group inside Amazon called ZeroOne, and their entire job is to create breakthrough gadgets. It's being led by Jay Allard, a real hardware veteran from Microsoft who is a key figure behind both the Xbox and the Zune. So yeah, they're bringing some serious experience to the table.
Of course, we can't talk about a new Amazon phone without addressing the ghost in the room. The spectacular failure of the first one really sets the stage for just how big of a challenge this is. The story of the Fire phone was just painful for Amazon. It came out in 2014 with a steep price and a headline feature, a 3D display, that pretty much everyone agreed was a gimmick. But worse, it was full of problems. It was missing key apps, it would overheat, and the battery life was terrible. The market just flat out rejected it, so much so that Amazon had to slash the price just to get rid of the things. They finally pulled the plug after only 14 months and had to write off $170 million in unsold phones. Ouch.
But, it's not just ghosts from the past that Amazon has to worry about. The company is trying to pull this off in what is an absolutely brutal and rapidly changing hardware market.
I mean, just look at the scale of this challenge. The smartphone market today is basically a duopoly. Apple and Samsung control a massive 40% of all global sales. Trying to break into a market that consolidated, where we're also locked into our ecosystems, is a monumental undertaking.
And here's another thing. Just slapping the AI label on a new gadget is not a golden ticket to success. Not anymore. We've seen some very recent, very high-profile examples of this. The Humane AI Pen and the Rabbit R1 both promised this appless future, and both were pretty much dead on arrival, hit with terrible reviews and weak sales. It just goes to show how incredibly difficult this is to get right.
And if all that wasn't enough, Amazon is trying to do this in a market that's actually shrinking. Yeah, projections for 2026 show that global phone shipments are on track for their steepest decline ever. People are holding on to their phones for longer, which means the bar for convincing them to switch to something new and unproven is higher than it's ever been.
So, with that disastrous history, the fierce competition, and a shrinking market, what's the real takeaway here? Why is this project so important, even with all the odds stacked against it?
Because at the end of the day, Amazon isn't just trying to sell you another black rectangle to put in your pocket. This is a strategic bet on the next interface. It's a wager that in the future, we won't interact with tech through a screen full of apps, but through a single, smart AI. This is a showdown between Amazon's all-in-one ecosystem and the absolute dominance of the App Store model.
And that brings us to the ultimate question. The technology and the vision are one thing, but the success of Transformer or anything like it really comes down to us. Are we ready to trade in the familiar comfort of our app screens for a conversation with an AI? That right there is the billion-dollar question Amazon is betting it can answer.